Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 15th episode of the second season of A New Perspective. I appreciate you being here, and hopefully you'll learn something new tonight. I've learned something new past couple of days by the people I have been introduced to and had some conversations with. But to start out, I'd like to thank everybody here in the Richmond, Virginia area for the support and everything. I'm working with a nonprofit called A Better Understanding. It's a betterunderstanding.org. And last Saturday, we had an event here locally. We had a dance party / movie night for individuals with not disabilities, but diffr'abilities. Everybody has abilities. Sometimes they just do things a little bit differently. But we had a bunch of people come out. We had food, we had dancing, we had crafts. If you saw one of the pictures, Santa Claus actually showed up and wanted to meet some people. There's Emily with emilysbracelets.com. And we got to hang out and just meet each other, greet each other from 4 to 10 p.m. And Kona Ice showed up. The Nutsy from the Richmond Flying Squirrels actually came out. But we just had a wonderful time and a wonderful group of people we got to meet. And thank you for everybody that made that possible. The ABU crew, A Better Understanding crew, thank you for everything you all did. We pulled it off, and it was definitely a success. So I wanted to, just explain, in my 30 plus years being in law enforcement, I've had interactions with quite a few different types of people. You see so many things out there, but my past 20 years, I've pretty much dealt with a lot of people dealing with diffr'abilities, specifically autism, other intellectual disabilities, Alzheimer's, dementia. And the one thing about whether they've got autism or whether they've got Alzheimer's, dementia, if you've met one person, you've met one person. Every single person is different. Some of the things the families do, they may work for their loved one, but it may not work for somebody else. So it's very tricky sometimes, especially law enforcement, when we're interacting with people. Because just because you can get along and interact well with one person doesn't mean you're going to be successful with the other. But many of these families are looking for things and looking for ways to try to make their world, their life easier, and maybe easier for their loved one. Make this world a little more tolerable, just some of the sensory issues that they're dealing with. So I had the opportunity, my producer, Anthony Griffo, introduced me to a lady, Janice Imbrogno, who has a son on the spectrum. And she went from being an economics teacher to working with a lot of essential oils. And she has found that a lot of these essential oils have been beneficial to her and her family, as well as her son, James, who has autism. So I'd like to introduce everybody to Janice and James, if he's there.
Hi, everyone. I'm Janice, and introduce yourself.
My name's James.
Well, my name is Tim, and I'm happy to have y'all on here. Looking forward to our conversation. So, Janice, tell me, I think we spoke a little bit briefly, but from economics teacher to essential oils, how did that happen, and how did the interest in the essential oils come about?
Well, I was a home economics teacher, and our focus was the well-being of the family. And I always taught my students about natural products and not using chemicals. And a big part of home economics was also consumerism and reading labels. And toward the end of my career, I was introduced to essential oils, and I started using them more and more. I found them a great resource, a nice alternative that's natural to help my family and I stay healthy. And then when I retired, I had some time on my hands because I had an injury, and I developed my business, which is called Home Health and Spirit. And my purpose is to help individuals and families lead a healthier life. And part of that is that I share just all my personal experiences is working, for example, with my son and using essential oils to help make his life easier. So that's kind of how it came about. I think it was all related, and it was an easy transition.
Okay, so and it's not just using the essential oils for your son James. It's all 360 degrees. It's your whole family and your whole environment and everything. Well,
Correct.
tell us a little bit about the oils that you use or James prefers, or if James wants to tell us the essential oils he likes, and what how they help him.
Okay. Okay, James, why don't you talk about your new favorite oil? Do you want to show it?
This one.
This one. So the one thing out before James shows this, I let James choose. So for example, there's two important points. Oh, you're going to show them how you breathe it in,
Yes.
right?
I do another
So-
oil. This one.
You like that one too? That's
Yes.
citrus. Very good. Very good. So we were using lavender and cedarwood to help James fall asleep. And James liked it and he would ask for it. But then I introduced him to another oil called Kid Power and he loved it. So even though Kid Power isn't specifically designed for sleep, because he likes it, that's what we go with. So it doesn't matter what the textbook says. Everybody is so individual and everybody's sense of smell reacts differently. The other really important point I wanted to make is you alluded to this in the beginning. I don't use oils just for James. It is a lifestyle. It's in my cleaning products. It's in my wellness products. My daughter and I are health and beauty and makeup. It's in our supplements. It's a whole lifestyle. So if a person is going to use essential oils,
I'm done with this.
all right, you want to show them?
Yes.
James made a homemade Play-Doh, and what did you put in it?
Oils.
And he put essential oils, so it's aromatherapy as he has the tactileness with
Right.
it. But you don't want a person to feel, oh, something's wrong with you. Here, you need oils. Here, smell your oil. Something's wrong with you. That's not what you want to convey. It
Right.
is a lifestyle, and we all use it. And you get to pick which one you're going to use tonight. And we just incorporate it in our everyday lives. Like the other day, I was making a video about a natural. I was really amazed at James because I was showing. I had him helping me. I did a quick Instagram video, and I was showing people my natural cleaner. And I said, James, how does this smell? Thinking he was going to say, it smells great, it smells nice, it smells pretty. And he said, it smells healthy. And that blew me away because he got the message.
Right.
I never told him it was a healthy cleaner, but he knew.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And that's what, and with autism too, there's so many challenges with the senses. And a lot of times what somebody who's neurotypical would think tastes good, smells good, to that person on the spectrum, they can't stand it. Have you found any of those oils that James really does not prefer?
I haven't.
Hmm.
He's liked everything I've given him. He has preferences.
Why?
Like his new favorite, but he's never there. One thing I should say that essential oils are not perfume. So you want to use a pure oil. So a lot of them smell really nice, but nature not all plants smell nice. So there are some oils, like for example, valerian helps people sleep. And you've probably heard of valerian as a supplement. The oil does not smell too pretty. And I'll give you one other quick example. There's a blend called Digest, which really helps amazingly for all things digestion. But
it's done.
Oh, just a minute. But it's very strong, and so like sometimes people don't want to wear that out among other people. So it's nature, and some smell prettier than others, and some don't. But by and large, he has not had any that he didn't like.
Right, you were showing earlier. He's something he made.
Yes,
You can
James.
fill with the different.
Okay, so James, show everybody. So James made an inhaler so he can carry essential oils on the go. And so you can get these. I got these on Amazon. This is a plastic one, and I involved James. He made it. He made the labels. there's a cotton wick inside the inhaler. So James, you show them how you made it. Hold it up like by that light. He dipped it in.
There's nothing in
Oh, there's
there.
another one. Oh, here's the other one. Sorry. Okay, dip it in. Oh, wait. Oh, wait, actually, I'm sorry. This is the one he likes. Okay, this oil is a blend. It's his favorite, and it has orange in it. It has vanilla, but it has blue tansy. So you're gonna see it looks blue. Hold it up, James. So hold up the wick. So the cotton wick looks a little blue, and then put it in the inhaler. Awesome. Okay, and then we're gonna put the cover on the bottom of the inhaler, like that. Usually snaps in, and then there's some holes there, and there's some holes there, and there's a cover for it. And kids could throw this. Well, they could throw it in their backpack.
Right.
Somebody could throw it in their purse, and James can have it on the go. But
Yes.
the important thing was he was involved in making them, and
Right.
he got carried away, and he made so many. We were giving them out to people yesterday.
Well, James, can you tell me how, when you smell that, how does it make you feel?
Look
It
at
makes me feel happy.
Oh, okay. Well, we all want to be happy, definitely.
Okay.
That is pretty awesome. And I looked at your, we had emailed back and forth, and you actually brought it up because I was going to bring it up. The Play-Doh, the tactile, the Play-Doh. I find that
Wash my hands.
awesome that you can incorporate that in that, because you're dealing with the tactile issue as well as the smell issue, the olfactory senses.
Right, exactly. And just as we were getting ready to start, James just he loved pouring more oil in it. And you can refresh the oils because the oils are volatile, so they'll wear away after a while. So you can just keep the Play-Doh airtight, and you could keep adding it. I'll show you one other tactile thing. This came with an essential oil kit, but you
Okay.
can buy them separately. Do you want to show them this?
Yes.
Sometimes James gets agitated, and we use these things to calm him down. Show them how you roll this on your finger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he rolls that up and down on his finger. So those sensory things are very calming.
Like the fidget spinners and different things like that. We
Right.
actually gave a lot of those out last Saturday at the event that we had. We had gift bags that were made, and we wanted everybody to leave with something. But that's absolutely amazing. And you and I you even brought up
Early
earlier
Christmas, I dropped
turmeric.
on the
I'm sorry.
table.
The
I'm sorry.
turmeric.
Dropped it on the table.
Turmeric.
Yeah, did you say turmeric? I'm sorry,
Yeah,
James just spilled some oils.
Oh, that's
So
okay.
we're going to stop with that. Yes, so I also use essential oil infused supplements, and the essential oils help the supplement get into the cells in your body, so it's a nice carrier for them.
Right.
And the essential oils themselves all have miraculous properties. But while we were backstage, I was just speaking to Anthony, your producer, and his
Right.
mom, and we were talking about how we've gotten so far
This is
away.
taking too
Oh,
long.
you can go now. You can go now.
I can go.
You can go. Say goodbye to Tim.
Bye, Tim.
Bye, James. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Since the Industrial Revolution, and since we've gotten so artificially chemically based,
Right.
we've forgotten there are a lot of gifts that the earth has, whether it's plants or it's minerals. They do different things for us. Like a mineral example would be Epsom salt, which is full of magnesium, and
Right.
that is so helpful. But different plants have different medicinal properties, and you would have to look up, every medicinal plant, but a lot of them are antimicrobial, and they just help with overall wellness. And it's just, think about before we had all the big box stores to go to, and when people were more connected to nature, they went to plants.
Right.
Yeah.
And you, the interesting thing, and I think when we talked on the phone the other day, that some of the teaching and training I do regards to Alzheimer's is that they find that many times the first sense that starts to be affected is the sense of smell. And I told you about a book. I've got a lady here in the county, Kim Leffler, who dealt with her father who had Alzheimer's disease, and she put a book out called A Turn for the Better. And it's a lot of holistic type things to help her or help him in the struggle of dealing with Alzheimer's. And one thing she would do, as she talks about in that book, was in the mornings get up, cut up oranges and lemons and just sit there and squeeze them and have her hold them up to her dad's nose and have him inhale, trying to excite those olfactory senses, those nerves. And she found that very, very beneficial itself. So I think, you're using the oils, she's using the plant, which is from the earth, and you're looking at using the oils from the earth, different plants and things. And I'd be curious to see how this type of, I don't know if you want to call it aromatherapy or oil, the fragrance, essential oil therapy, but I wonder if it would also be beneficial in the Alzheimer's dementia population.
I bet it would, because we have so many of our memories are connected to smells, like you said, with our olfactory system. It's
Right.
connected to the brain, and smells evoke memories. I mean, if you smell pine, you think of the holidays, and you can have good associations. Like my famous example is you smell something that smells like grandma's cooking and it feels so warm and homey and good. And then you could have other smells that don't have pleasant associations, but it might just excite something in the brain.
Right. And so my understanding, James is in a group home facility,
Yes.
and you've taken it beyond there's a written health protocol for that facility that as far as it involves James. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so when he first moved in, the first thing I wanted to have is no toxic cleaning products. They had, and if you look up, my one great resource I like is the Environmental Working Group. It's ewg.org. So they had Airwick solids and spray and all kinds of chemicals. And I'm like, you know what? This is not good for his health. So they didn't. Eventually, they got rid of the Airwick solids, and because artificial fragrance is really not good for you. But for him in his room, he's only allowed the non-toxic cleaning products that I make for him with essential oils and natural things like baking soda, vinegar, peroxide. You can make anything. Some washing soda, alcohol. You don't need anything. So he has just that, and then he has a health protocol. He has 2 diffusers in his room to purify the air, because the air that he breathes is important. And then I had to advocate to have the central air conditioning and heating system cleaned.
Wow.
And I asked him to open his windows every day. He has an air filter. And then I also taught staff. James knows a lot. Like, for example, if James's head is bothering him, he has peppermint essential oil with a roller top on it. And he knows to roll his head, but he has to be prompted and reminded.
Right.
Or if he's exposed to anything, there are certain essential oils with antimicrobial properties that he needs to roll on the bottom of his feet, but the staff needs to remind him. And then he has a protocol with natural supplements, and we got a doctor's note. The doctor believed in what I was doing for him, that he shouldn't be exposed to synthetic fragrance.
Did you, as far as getting the doctors to back it, did you have to go searching for doctors? Or, because I know a lot of times, they're just not supportive of things like this. They're into there's a prescription for this, prescription for that. Did you have any trouble finding a doctor that would actually give you a note prohibiting those things?
I was really blessed. Sometimes it's a big fight, and I know exactly what you mean, because with other health things with our family, I have that experience that you just mentioned. But the doctor that James goes to associated with the group home, he just agreed, because they were using toxic fabric softener, and fabric softener is one of the most toxic ingredients. And I'll just give a little aside, because the chemicals embed themselves in the fiber of your clothes and sheets. So when you're laying on your warm body is laying on your sheets for 8 hours, or you're wearing clothes all day, those chemicals migrate right through your skin into your bloodstream. So that was the catalyst, and he went along with it. And in terms of, I'll mention one other thing. When James was much younger, when he was a child, I would never put him on medication. But when he was a teenager, there was like violent episodes. I couldn't control him. He was hormonal. He was on medication for a while. It was a little bit of a battle to get him very gradually off the medication. But again, I was blessed because the psychologist believed in what I was doing. And right now, James takes no prescription medication.
Goodness gracious. So
It took a while.
the sleeping and everything. So I know that's one issue that a lot of families have is the sleep, and the big push is melatonin. Um, but so the transition from when you started using, was it an immediate difference you noticed with him, or was it somewhat gradual?
Well, it is gradual. And what I like to tell everybody, this is not a miracle cure.
Right.
It's not like, okay, because James does, what you said is exactly true. James sleeps, but his sleep is so off. He was up at 4 a.m. this morning. And then he'll take naps like a child. He'll nap every afternoon and I just can't get him on a routine. So it helps him settle down at bedtime. It helps calm him, but it's not like a sleep aid. I tried melatonin supplements when he was younger. It didn't really do much for him, but I find that it's a support. I want to also, again, I don't want to digress too much, but it's also a support for me and for the caretakers, because just having these oils around me and even with I'm with Anthony, your producer right now, it just smells beautiful. It lifts your mood. It's a tool. It's something constructive you can do. When I just don't know what to do with James, I can suggest. Sometimes he'll say no, but I've taught him alternate nostril breathing, and he does that with oils, or we'll do the Play-Doh. So it gives me a tool to try. It takes the edge off. It makes me feel more in control, like I have something to go to, but it's not a drug. It doesn't knock somebody out. It doesn't take away like learning disabilities or anything like that. Yeah.
Explain the alternate
nostril breathing?
Nostril breathing, as opposed to just putting it in front of you and inhaling it.
All right. So alternate nostril breathing works on its own, even without essential oils. Essential oils enhance it. So basically, I'll just show you really quickly. Usually a person, when they do it, they use one hand, but when I demonstrate, it's easier. You hold one nostril and you're conscious when you're doing this. So you can't think of like all these crazy thoughts in your head because you're focusing, I got to do this right. Hold one nostril, you breathe in, close, and then you breathe out. Then you breathe in. Okay, so now we do it with 2 essential oils, and we do it with usually frankincense and valor, and there's a specific reason for this. Frankincense is a very my camera, I'm opposite on the camera. Okay, frankincense is a very high vibrational oil. It's a biblical oil, it's a spiritual oil, and it has a really high vibration. Valor is a very grounding oil. It's a settling oil. It's a calming oil. So now we have 2 different types of oils. And what I'll do is we'll breathe in one oil and out, and then we'll breathe. I'm sorry, the camera's backwards. It's throwing me off.
I mean, you're getting the flow from one side all the way through
to the
other side. So it's encompassing all of it.
Right. So, and I do have a video on YouTube, 2 videos of James doing this, but you just alternate the frankincense. But now, like I said, I couldn't do it because I'm seeing myself backwards. But you see the concentration it takes. So if I'm worried or James is agitated, and he doesn't do it perfect, but that's okay, because we're not thinking of what's bothering us. We're thinking of doing it right. And if you watch the videos, you'll see it done right. So
it's interesting. It to me, having to focus like that, it seems to have an element of meditation, because you're so focused on that one thing. And, back to the sleep issue, that's being such a huge issue with a lot of people dealing with autism. And, they're trying anything and everything they can to get their child or adult with autism to sleep, because I would love to see some sleep studies done with individuals on the spectrum, because from what I've seen, a lot of them do not sleep a lot, and many of them have dark circles under their eyes, and ultimately you end up with parents with the dark circles under their eyes because they don't want them getting up and getting out of the house, wandering, eloping, and things like that. So that's what I would encourage anybody. Like I said before, if you've met one, you've met one, but why not give it a shot and see if it helps with some of the issues, the deals that they're, trying to handle. You talk about one of them was good for digestion, because see, the big thing has been the gluten-free, casein-free. So this is just another aspect of helping that digestion, the sensory issues in the digestion. Anything and everything out there, give it a shot. This is an opportunity to give these oils a shot to see if they may make a difference. And I think a lot of people would be pleasantly surprised.
Right, right. It's helped James a lot. He's very good with pain, but sometimes when his head hurts, he'll just, oh, my head hurts. And it doesn't mean if he needs Tylenol, I don't like to give it to him, but
Right.
I will give it to him. But if he rolls peppermint on his head, peppermint is like a menthol. It's an analgesic, and it numbs your head and it cools it. So there's been a lot of success. And also back to the sleep, it's a nice association. So I always think when people have young children and babies, if they have a nice, calming, soothing bedtime routine, and let's just say they diffuse lavender, the child begins to associate bedtime with the smell of lavender, and the connection is made. Now, with a child or a young adult with autism, you might not be starting right away, but as long as it's a pleasant bedtime, like if the child is agitated, that's not the time to start making the association. You want to make the association when it's a positive.
Right. You don't want that lavender to be, oh, this is time I'm supposed to be rambunctious and jump on the bed up and down. But once things settle down, you can take those smells. And as long as there's consistency, I guess, then they can adapt to, okay, this is what I smell. This is how I feel. Because you even said it, going into grandma's house and smell that smell, it takes you back to somewhere. It takes you to a place, and it's very unique. So I would encourage anybody to give it a shot and see. You may find an oil something different than what calms James down, but these oils are going to affect different people different ways. But it's an option to give a try. And like you said, your house now, it smells. You've got aromas that you can smell. And I think a wise man once said, it smells healthy.
Yes, very wise man.
But it's neat to hear that, I guess, that fact to him, it's healthy. But you've got a lot. Is there anything, if anybody wants to learn more about these essential oils, have you got some type of contact information or any other references they can check out?
Yes, I'm going to give you my contact, and then I'm going to give you one other quick sleep idea. My website is homehealthandspirit.com, and is spelled out. I have a YouTube channel, which is Home Health and Spirit. Instagram is Home Health and Spirit, and Facebook is Home Health and Spirit. So that's my contact. And I'm still a teacher at heart. So there's a lot of educational things. There's articles, there's blogs. My contact, they could reach out. My email address is homehealthandspirit@gmail.com. And so if you know Home Health and Spirit, you could reach me in a myriad of ways. The other thing I wanted to mention about sleep, and this is for typical children too, because I'll do this with my daughter sometime. If the touch and the sensory is okay, put some lavender on some natural cream or oil and give them a little foot massage. And that's very soothing. And the bottom of the feet are an excellent place to put essential oils, because there are many large pores on the bottom of your feet, and the molecules get in and go through your bloodstream. So a little, if touch is a good and pleasant thing, a little foot massage with essential oils might help.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Janice, thank you so much for coming on and sharing this information. And it'll be out there on all your podcast platforms. Hopefully people can hear it and give it a shot. And I guarantee you there will be some people that benefit from this. And I just thank you for what you're doing, and thank you for what you've done. And I appreciate you being on the show. Hopefully we can do it again at some point. And thank James for being here for me, if you don't mind. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you soon.
All right. And Tim, thanks for the opportunity. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Let's stay in touch.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Well, everybody, you've heard a different, I guess, a new perspective or a different perspective. and some things that may help out. You don't know till you give it a shot and see how it does. Janice has had success with James, but if you think about it, our environment, we've got things out there are not necessarily good for us. So why not go back to Mother Earth if we can and get some of these essential oils and try to make our lives better. So I want to thank everybody for being here. I appreciate it. And again, thanks to the ABU crew for what they pulled off Saturday. And appreciate everybody being here. Dad, I love you. And everybody take care.